Blessings. Good night, good night. Welcome, welcome. So welcome everyone that is joining or in the process of joining. My name is Ramona Riley, aka the Vagina Lady and owner of Cosmic Woman. I have not been here for about 2 weeks and I have missed you guys. For those that are joining us for the first time, welcome. And for those that have been here a few times, welcome back, family. Thank you so much for joining me again. So tonight, Womb Wednesday, as usual, we are going to actually dive in a little bit with questions and answers tonight. I actually got my period yesterday and it is 5 days early. I have no idea what's going on. I believe that there is something going on in the atmosphere or the universe, because there have been many women who have been texting me telling me that their periods are earlier than they would usually be, maybe a week, maybe a few days, maybe more than a week. So I actually have been affected by that as well. So the plan really was to do some yoni toning and some movement and exercise. And usually during my period, I really don't want to have to do, when it comes to physical exercise, that's one situation, which I will do when I'm on my period. But when it comes to clenching and working my vaginal muscles and all of those things, I find that I don't want to do that. I want to literally just allow my vagina to do what it does and not create more of any excitement or stress. So I do apologize for those that were looking forward to movement, but we will definitely be doing that next week, hopefully, right? So questions and answers, guys. Question and answers is a great time for you to get an understanding of your body, of things that are happening. And why not? Why not ask? Don't feel uncomfortable. Don't feel shy, okay? As much as this is live, it still is a safe space. And when I say that, I mean there is no stupid question. There is no dumb question. So please put your questions out there so that I can answer them, okay? So I actually just saw that someone said that that their period is actually a little off too, which, as I said, that seems like the story of everybody right now. So before we get started with the whole questions and answers, I'm going to pray, which is something we do all the time. And then after that, please throw the questions in. Okay, so bow your heads, do what you would usually do for prayer, and I will lead the prayer. Dear God, we thank you so much for everything you create, everything you have made to allow us to be the best versions of ourselves. We thank you for the support and the guidance and the unconditional love that you bestow upon us each and every day. I ask you now, we all ask you now, to surround us with your positive energy. Allow us to shed and remove the things, the people, the places that don't serve our higher good. Allow us to be the best versions of ourselves and show us the way. Amen. Okay, so until the questions start rolling in, I'm going to run off my mouth. Welcome, welcome everyone who's just joining. Welcome, welcome. Ooh. So until the questions come in, I just want to talk a little bit about sex, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because for the last 2 weeks, I have had some clients that are having some real issues with sexual performance, and they feel really inadequate. And unfortunately, this is something that many women go through, this feeling that, you know, this insecurity that they are not pleasing their partner the way that they should, or that they think at least that they should. And also, I guess, being comfortable in their bodies, because at the end of the day, being comfortable in your body will allow you to be able to express yourself sexually whichever way you need to. And when we find that, you know, maybe body image, maybe mentally, you know, all of these different things, we find that it really affects our sex life. It affects our want for sex, our need for sex, and of course how we please our significant other. Now, we're all big people, and we're in 2021, and it is not every couple that has a male and a female, okay? For some couples, it's 2 females. For some couples, it's 2 males. Now, of course, because we're talking about feminine stuff today, the 2 males are not necessarily included in this situation. But it is important for us to have an understanding that if we view ourselves a certain way, it is going to show up sexually, okay? And so we have to make sure that we are not having this limited thought or feeling when it comes to our physical bodies. Every woman has issues. Every woman feels like they wish something could be better. Maybe your ears are too big. Maybe your mouth, your lips, your eyes are too big. Maybe something is not big enough. And so we start to get into our feelings. And so a lot of times we can't please our partners the way that we want to, because we're so wrapped up in what we look like. We have to get over that. Okay, you have a partner, you're with this partner, this person knows what you look like, they want to be with you. We have to remove that. I can understand more if you have a new partner. If it's a one-night stand, then yeah, I get it, because you're a little bit more uncomfortable. You could be a little bit more shy, you know. But if this is someone that you're with and you're creating a life with, or you've been with them for a while, there's no reason at all for you to feel this way. We have to love ourselves. We have to accept not just our flaws, but the positive things about us as well. So for example, my ass, my butt, right, is not really the typical black woman ass, right? It's not big, it's not bubbled, and there are times when I think to myself, wow, you know, like, how did I get here? Because I used to have like a bubblish kind of butt, you know, but now it's kind of not so bubbly. And every so often I remind myself that, okay, Mona, you know, you've had 3 children, you know, you've gained weight, you've lost weight, you've gained weight, all of these things, gravity, all these things affect that. But at the end of the day, I really just have to accept the fact that this is just what my butt looks like right now. And my old trainer used to tell me I have the sexiest flat bottom ever. And I mean, I guess I can take that as a compliment, which I do, and I just keep it moving. But for a lot of women, when they have a part of their body that is not ideal, right, they get in their feelings and they feel uncomfortable, and it's harder for them to express themselves sexually because there's so much in their mind. They're thinking about how the other person is looking at them, and of course when we kind of compare ourselves to, you know, pornography, or to the women on Instagram that have these amazing bodies, we can really get in our feelings. But ladies, at the end of the day, we are power. We got that P-U-S-S-Y, okay? And at the end of the day, we are the hardest critics. Our significant others really don't criticize our physical bodies the way that we do. And we have to release that. We have to come to an understanding that we're loved. and that we're beautiful and that we're sexy in our own way. So one person might be sexy because they're slim and they're this and they're that, and another woman might be sexy because of all of her nice fluffiness, you know. And because there's so many different people in the world, and you know, people have different wants and needs, and what they're attracted to is different, you're going to find that you will find a man or a woman that is very attracted to a slim woman, or vice versa, right? So I'm a little bit more on like the thicky kind of side, right? And I can't expect that a man that would usually like very skinny women to think that I am skinny as well. I'm not. And that's okay. And if he doesn't like me for my physical entity, right, all that thickness, then I'm just not the one for him. But women, we have to have an understanding that we love ourselves and appreciate what we have. We got to. Okay? I see questions coming in and I don't want to ignore them because I want to get as many questions as I can in. So let me just scroll back up. Okay, so someone is saying that they have some digestive problems and they feel short of breath. They feel like something is stuck in their throat, pain in the chest. Okay, so first of all, the first thing I'm going to say is the majority of issues that we will suffer from, men or women, right, or children, when we suffer from a condition, for the most part, the condition starts in the gut. It starts in the digestive system, okay? And because of that, you will find that from there, everything else is now affected, okay? So if we get the gut right, if we get the digestive system right, okay? Digestive system meaning the liver, the kidneys, the stomach, the spleen, the gallbladder, all of that. If we get that right, if we heal that, if we strengthen that, if we detox that, you find that all these other issues really aren't issues, because the issues that we're suffering from are just a byproduct of the actual root of the problem. And the root of the problem is the gut, the digestive system. So I really suggest starting with a cleanse, changing your diet, okay? So the pork, the beef, the liver, the kidney, those things, remove those things from your diet. You will see a huge difference just from that. On top of that, you can do some cleansing, some detoxing, and detoxing can come in many forms and many fashions. So if it is an actual detox cleanse that you're doing, if it is that you are doing a juice cleanse, if it is that you are just changing your diet and not eating any meat, it's important. What I would also say is focus a lot on your blood. A lot of times we are not cleansing our blood, and the blood is running through the whole body. And if you don't cleanse your blood, then your organs cannot really be clean, right? Because the blood is passing through and running through all of these different organs. So cleansing your blood, keeping your gut healthy, detoxing is really going to help all of those issues, okay? So if it is that your respiratory system is off, your gut is off. If it is that your reproductive system is off, your gut is off. If it is that you suffer from migraines, it's your gut, okay? So all of these things start in the gut. I hope that answers your question. What time in our cycle is it best to do the castor oil treatment? Okay, so castor oil treatments are amazing. And for those that do not know what a castor oil treatment is, a castor oil treatment is actually done on your abdomen. You use cold pressed organic castor oil, and it really helps to detox the reproductive system, the digestive system, the lymphatic system, and all of these different things. It also helps with circulation and promoting healthy circulation. If you have cysts, if you have fibroids, it helps to shrink them. If it is that you suffer from endometriosis or any other kind of reproductive issue, it also helps with that. If you have scar tissue, it helps to soften the scar tissue as well. So castor oil treatments are great for everyone. I do them on my children, I do them on myself, I do them on my husband, I do them on my clients. Really great treatment to do. Easy, cheap, and it feels amazing. Okay, I'm actually gonna do one tonight. Now, in terms of the best time to do them, definitely not when you're on your period. Okay, you want to make sure that you're doing castor oil treatments when you are not bleeding. I say it again, not bleeding, not pregnant. Okay, if you suffer from things like menopause, like bad menopause, it's something great as well for you to do. Okay, if you're interested in doing a castor oil treatment, send us a message. We can definitely send you the products that you need to do it. There is a heating pad or a hot water bottle that you will need to do this treatment. Okay, so once you've purchased all those other products in terms of the cloth that you're going to need, because there's a special cloth, the actual castor oil itself, apart from those two things, you will need a heating pad or a hot water bottle. Okay, I'm 41, have regular periods. I have one ovary as a result to an ectopic pregnancy. I have a 7-year-old, but I am not ovulating and I would like to get pregnant. Okay, my darling. So in terms of this one tube that you have, you can get pregnant from one tube. One tube is enough. 2 tubes, of course, you know, it's always better if you have more to work with. But 1 tube can definitely get you pregnant, okay? When it comes to not ovulating, that is something that you're going to want to work on, because of course that is how the egg drops and then the egg is fertilized and so on and so forth. So if you're not ovulating, there are a few things that I suggest, and a few products I suggest is what I should really say. I really suggest that you do some evening primrose. I suggest that you use vitamin C. I also suggest self-massages, which will be great as well. Make sure you are on a female plant-based vitamin, okay? Really, really, really important, okay? I am looking for the questions. Hi, everyone who's just joining in. I thought kidney and liver was good. Okay, so this is something I talk about every single day. So liver and kidney, okay, especially liver, has a lot of minerals, like for example, iron. Liver is really huge. Iron is really huge when it comes to the liver. The issue with that is the liver and the kidney really are the filters. Okay, so the good and the bad and the everything goes through them, and so you find that those areas are a lot more toxic. There's a lot more waste. It's a lot more depleted in our physical human bodies, much less an animal. So it's important to know that kidney and liver, yes, there might be some positive things in it, but it is not worth it. It's not worth it. So it's like you can either get iron and just iron, or you can get iron mixed with poop, or mixed with waste, or mixed with whatever. And it's not worth it, because then it still stresses out the digestive system again. So those organs I would not suggest to eat. Okay? That is the dirtiest, literally the dirtiest part of the animal. I can tell a big difference when I cut meat out. Of course you can, because your digestive system can digest what it needs to easily. Meat takes a longer time to digest, and I don't care what type of meat you're talking about, okay? Of course, meats like fish are much easier to digest. It takes a shorter time, okay? But it's still a meat, okay? Then we get into chicken, then we get into beef and pork. Huge, takes a long time to digest the body, okay? And the longer, the more stress we put on our digestive system is the more stress the rest of our systems are, okay? So I would definitely suggest, if you can't cut out most of the meats, those heavy meats, then definitely don't eat them right before your period and during your period. Not good. You're gonna find that your periods are lighter, your periods have less pain, they smell less. All of these things will be different because you have cut out these heavy meats. Can you detox while you're on your period? Does that cause the period to come down heavier? You can detox while you're on your period, and it should not make the period come down heavier. Okay, unless it is that you're doing something very extreme, which would change the period and how it flows. But it being heavier is not necessarily what might happen. It might get lighter, it could get heavier, but usually you don't find that. Okay, usually when you're detoxing, you find that your periods become easier, they become more gentle, they become more easy and breezy. Does ionic foot detox work for hormonal imbalance? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. If you want to heal your hormonal imbalance, you have to start with what? The gut, the digestive system. That is where it is, because we were talking about the liver earlier. And it's funny because the liver is where a lot of these excess hormones, that is where it's stored. So if you suffer from endometriosis or PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, or fibroids, right? A lot of the hormones are stored in the liver, the excess amount. So when we cleanse the liver and we strengthen the liver, you find that the hormonal imbalance that you had is no longer. Okay, so let's start with the gut first. What we're eating, and then removing the things that that don't serve us anymore. Yes, you can get all of that from me in terms of the Castor Oil Treatment, or even the cleanse, the detox, all of that. We definitely have that at Cosmic Woman, maybe if you're in Jamaica or anywhere else in the world. How can you help someone who hasn't had their, I'm guessing, their period in 5 months? Okay, so when you miss periods, right? You miss a period maybe 1 month, 2 months, 5 months, a year, that kind of thing. Again, this starts in your gut, in your digestive system. This is a hormonal issue, okay? Maybe that you're going through premenopausal or early menopausal, or it could be that you actually have a condition like PCOS. Most women, I shouldn't say most, a lot of women that suffer from PCOS, they will miss periods. They won't see a period. And so that would be a condition that they have that is now affecting their period. If you have this issue, I want to detox you. I want to give you some superfoods. Superfoods to allow your reproductive system to like wake up. Because we got to wake it up. So it's possible, more than possible, to start back your period and to have a healthy, regulated period. But there are things that you're going to have to do. We have a product at Cosmic Woman called Hello Period, and it's a tea, really great for helping to bring down the period. But we don't just want to bring down the period. We want to heal, get to the root of the reason why the period is not happening. Okay, why it is not regulated. We want to make sure that happens. How do you know when you're not ovulating? Okay, so ovulation for many women are different in terms of the signs, in terms of what they can see and recognize. For me personally, when I am ovulating, I can tell based off of the fact that I have this mucousy, stretchy discharge that's happening. Okay, I can also tell because I feel like a turning where my my ovaries would be. Sometimes I feel it on my left side turning, and then I feel it on my right side. Sometimes it's both sides moving at the same time. And also I get really, really, really horny. Like really horny. Like I want penis like all the time, through the whole time. That's me personally. And for a lot of women, you know, they can at least pick out one out of, you know, those symptoms that they can say, okay, yes, I get that at some time during my during my cycle in itself. And so they're going to pay more attention to the other things. For other women, they really don't feel any of that. They don't feel the cramp. They don't feel the turn. They don't feel more horny. There's none of that goes on, okay? And for some, they're just not ovulating at all. So if you are looking into ovulation, there's certain things that you're going to want to do, okay? First of all, download a ovulation tracker, okay? Put in your period, the date of your last period, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna ask you a whole lot of different questions. Watch your panty. What is happening in your underwear? Is there discharge? Is there not discharge? Okay? When you feel a cramp, when you feel a twist, when you feel a turn, make a note in your app. Make a note in your journal. Okay? So you can know what's going on. We have to know our bodies. It's really important, because the more we know our bodies, is the easier and the better it is to either maintain the health of it or to heal whatever is wrong. My period is regular, however, it didn't show up for the month of May. What can I do? If it usually is regular and it did not show up for the month of May, did it show up for the month of June? Or maybe it's not enough time yet? Well, first, check and see if you're pregnant. That would be literally the first thing to do. I would take a few pregnancy tests, not just one. If it is that you are not pregnant, what I would suggest, number one, is vaginal steaming for sure. And I would vaginal steam maybe every other day, maybe for like a week. See where you are with that. And I would also recommend the Hello Period as well. Okay, and maybe like a female vitamin. I would really recommend that. Hi, I recently found out I have blood clot in my legs, so I am taking thinners. I paused from taking my teas and vitamins because I'm scared they might counteract with the thinner. What do you recommend? Okay. So the teas that you're on, okay, and if you're on, say, for example, the womb tea, the hormonal tea blend, those things will not affect your blood thinner medication, okay, not at all. So you can definitely continue with that. What can cause misabortion, I guess is what she's trying to say. A missed abortion? I'm not sure. Can you elaborate a little bit so I know exactly what you're saying? They didn't tell us that about liver and kidney until I spoke to you. I thought these were good for anemia. I'm working on meat and I have also lost some weight. Well, I'm happy that you've lost some weight. That's great. If that's what you were trying to do, fantastic. Now, yes, liver definitely has a lot of iron. And when you're anemic, the issue is that your iron is extremely low. So a doctor or someone else could definitely say to you, you need to have some liver. You need to eat liver so you can get your iron up. But the reality is that in getting the iron up, you are also bringing and creating toxins and waste in your body. So if your iron is low, get on some iron. Don't eat the filth mixed with the iron. I wouldn't suggest that. I wouldn't give that to my worst enemy, although I don't have any of those. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't. Can't wait to get my package. I need to fix my body and systems. And once you start treatment, you will definitely realize, Mel, that that your body feels so much better. You feel lighter. You have more energy. You probably might even realize that you didn't even know that you were on this low. And once you start taking your products, you feel so much better. So I hope you get it soon so that you can start feeling amazing. Can a woman get pregnant with scar tissue? Yes, a woman can get pregnant with scar tissue, but it depends on where the scar tissue is and what it is that she's doing, okay? So let's say, for example, you have scar tissue around your fallopian tubes, let's say. It's a little harder to get pregnant that way, okay? If you have scar tissue, let's say, for example, if you have endometriosis and you have these scar tissues that are there, that also is going to be a little bit harder to get pregnant as well. So when you suffer from scar tissue, you have to think two things. One, softening scar tissue. Two, removing scar tissue. To soften the scar tissue, ginger is amazing. Okay, and I'm not talking about ginger like make ginger tea every morning kind of thing. Like, that's not enough. If you suffer from scar tissue, you need a concentrated version of ginger. So for my clients, I would usually give them some ginger capsules, right? Maybe 2 a day or more, just depending on where you are and, you know, how long you've had the scar tissue or the surgery or whatever, so that we can soften the area, okay? Really important. Then after softening, we want to remove, and a great way to remove scar tissue or any really kind of blockage is using serapeptase. Great for doing that. So you can look into that. How much for the primrose oil for PCOS? It depends. I'm not sure. In Jamaica, I believe it's $4,000. In the US, I want to say it's $25, but I'm not 100% sure. If you are in the US or anywhere else in the world, you can go on our website, www.cosmicwoman.com, and look at the price there. If you're in Jamaica, it is definitely $4,000. I know that for a fact. Hi, good night. I stopped my treatment for a while. Is it okay to just pick up where I left off? The tonic has been in the fridge for a while. How long? What's a while? How long has the tonics been in the fridge? Let me know that. Hi, Ramona. When will you be having the hormonal tea, shepherd's purse, and red maca? Okay, so red maca, I'm assuming you're in Jamaica. Red maca is in stock. We got it in today. If we do not have shepherd's purse, there are other herbs that you can use that we have to stop the period. There's yarrow, and there's also abuta. Okay, so you can try both of those if the shepherd's purse is out of stock. The hormonal tea blend, I believe that should be in stock by the end of next week. Okay, so this woman, I'm sorry, got pregnant, and the fetus actually is in the right tube, and she's afraid to get pregnant again. All right, so what I would say is December to now, you know, that's 6 months later, I think it's okay to try again, but I would really suggest checking the other tube to make sure that there is no blockage in that tube. Okay, so doing a HSG test would be great. Call your OBGYN, let them know that you want to check out your tube that you have left, if you ended up losing one tube, so that you can know if there is any blockage, and if there is, then you can do something about it. Until it is that you get that test done, I would just suggest that you do things to help to remove any kind of blockage, and just to strengthen that one tube that you might have left. And ways that you can strengthen it is definitely using motherwort. It is a herb that you can make tea from, or you can put in your smoothie and blend it up and drink it. Serapeptase is also great for the tube. Ginger, turmeric, those things are also very good for the tubes. You do an ultrasound and find out that there is no heartbeat, so they call it misabortion. Okay, okay. So when there is no heartbeat, unfortunately, you know, there's really nothing that we can do. What I do suggest, though, is to write a letter to that baby that you lost, and just express your feelings about how you felt when you found out you were pregnant, how you felt when you realized that you were losing this pregnancy, or that there was no heartbeat, and how you feel now. It's really great for you to release this, okay? Because in releasing it, you will find that there's a healing that happens, okay? So I would really suggest you do so. Unfortunately, every so often a woman will get pregnant and there is no heartbeat, or she'll get pregnant and they can't see any fetus at all. The blood work says she's pregnant, but there's no physical evidence that she's pregnant. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes. What about... Okay, if you're constantly getting vaginal infections, then we have to start in the gut again. Okay, it's in the gut. We want to watch your diet. So the sugars and the meats and the yeast and all of these things are huge, okay, in making sure that that you're not getting a vaginal infection. I also suggest doing a vaginal steam and using Cosmic Woman's silver treatment, which is actually a douche and an insert. Okay, really, really, really great to help with the vaginal infections. Also, if you suffer from vaginal infections on a regular basis, I do suggest doing a probiotic. And you want to do at least, I would say you want to do 100 billion cultures, live cultures of probiotics to get that good bacteria in your gut. The more good bacteria we have in our gut, is the easier it is to fight off that negative or that bad bacteria that is living there. If your period is regular but you are not getting pregnant, what can be recommended? Okay, so having a regular period is important for getting pregnant, of course. So that's one thing that's good. But when it comes to pregnancy, there are other things, okay? For some clients that don't have reproductive issues, okay, meaning like they've never been diagnosed with anything like that, sometimes we have to look at how often are they going to the bathroom to poop, okay? Bowel movements. What you also want to look at is ovulation. Are you ovulating? Okay, because if you're not ovulating, pregnancy is going to be difficult. So look into that. I would suggest those two things for sure. Now, if you're talking about products and certain products that you could have, it's hard for me to tell you what products to take because I don't really know much more about your situation. But being on a plant-based female vitamin is going to be good. Cleansing is going to be good. Making sure your uterus is healthy, making sure your reproductive system is healthy, making sure your digestive system is healthy is really going to help, okay, with that whole pregnancy aspect. What's your best recommendation to balance hormones if you suffer from PCOS? Okay, when you suffer from PCOS, you definitely want to, and of course guys, PCOS comes in different forms, okay, but we're just going to be general right now. When you suffer from PCOS, when you want to balance the hormones, we have to look at the liver, okay? We have to cleanse the liver, we have to strengthen the liver. Really, really, really important. We also want to cleanse the body. I would suggest red maca. I would suggest our womb tea. I would suggest our hormonal tea. But then again, I'm not sure what type of PCOS you have. I would also suggest vitamin C because that's really great for your ovaries. And a lot of times with PCOS, it affects your ovaries. Do you sell the stuff to use with the castor oil treatment? Yes, we definitely have that. So wherever you are in the world, you can definitely get all the things that you need to for the castor oil treatment. Thank you. Just from your advice, I'm feeling better. Yes, well, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to remember that there is hope. You know what I mean? There's possibilities. And if we understand our bodies and know our bodies and give our bodies exactly what they want, you find that our bodies just do what it's naturally meant to do. So if it's that you're trying to get pregnant, your body's naturally gonna allow you to get pregnant after you've had sex during your ovulation. Okay? If it is that, you know, you have endometriosis, there's certain things that are issues. And if you give your body those things, you find that you don't end up suffering from those symptoms the way you would have suffered before, because you're giving your body what it wants. Remember, when our bodies are doing things, right? When it's in pain, when it's not, period is not coming, when period is lasting too long, when any of these, I'm feeling nauseous, cramps, back pain, when any of these things are happening, it is a sign. It's a sign to say, from our bodies to tell us, you know, your digestive system is not right. Your reproductive system is not right. Your lymphatic system needs to be flushed. It's literally telling us that. So the more we listen and then give our bodies what it needs, the better off we are. Why does spotting take place before the period? Okay, so every woman is different, okay? You have some women that when their period starts, they don't spot. When the period starts, it just starts and it just flows. For some, they spot one day, then there's no period. Then it spots again. or spots, then the period comes down. Every woman is different. What I can say about spotting is spotting should not last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days before the period or towards the end of the period. 1 day of spotting is fine. When we're going into 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 10, it's not a great thing, okay? How we can help that is to do vaginal steaming, even the spotting at the end. There are many women that I know that after the 3rd or the 4th day of their period, there's no more heaviness, there's no more clots, there's no more nothing. There's just this brown, bloody kind of discharge that keeps going for days. And that's actually still a part of the period, but it's more like spotting than it is like a heavy flow. Okay, that also is an issue, but vaginal steaming can help that. So maybe that the spotting is at the beginning, maybe the long spotting is in the beginning, the long spotting is at the end, or the period breaks in the middle of it, stops, spots, and starts again. No matter which one it is, we want to make sure that spotting is not like you're only spotting for 1 day. This long-lasting spotting is really telling us that something is not right as well. I have only had a period once for each year for the past 2 years, and I have no change despite going to the gyno. My partner and I are really trying to have kids. Any suggestions? Okay, so if you are not having a period, I really suggest that you come and do a consultation with me, because I want to know more. I want to be able to help you, and I can give you some advice now in terms of, yes, you need to get on some evening primrose, you need to get on some red maca, you need hello period, you need to do castor oil treatments, you need a female vitamin that's plant-based, you need to detox. But these things are all very generic, because of course I don't know enough. But doing those things, you should definitely see a difference. Vaginal steaming, all of those things will make a difference. If you would like my help, I would love to be a part of your womb journey. I actually had a mini consultation with a client today for her to get her second treatment plan. And after I asked her her first question during the mini consultation, like, okay, tell me about the period. When was the last period? She was just like, well, the last period was, I guess, last month maybe, or the month before, but she's now pregnant. You know, and it's like, oh, well, you don't need a second treatment plan. You need a prenatal treatment plan. Like we're not trying to now get you pregnant. You are pregnant. And that was really great. That was really amazing. Because of course, you know, she had been trying for so long, and in 4 months she had gotten pregnant, which is really awesome. But I would definitely say consultations are probably the best place to start. It allows us to be able to know what's going on, and then knowing what's going on, then we can give your body literally what it needs, because our bodies literally tell us what it needs. So we just need to listen. What could it possibly be that causes clear watery discharge for a few days after the period? Could it be ovulation? Okay, so yes, there are some people that ovulate right after the period, like myself. I literally ovulate like 4 days after my period. So I'm already horny right before the period, and then, you know, I'm crazy horny after, and like I'm ovulating, and I'm not necessarily trying to have any more babies. So it kind of puts me in a little funny situation. But it could be ovulation. All right, what I would suggest you do is just watch that. What else are you feeling? Is it that? Are you feeling a little bit more sexual? Is your libido a little higher? Are you feeling any cramping, any turning where your fallopian tubes would be? Those things are also very important, right? Get your tracker. When you have the discharge, that watery discharge, put it in your tracker. See if the next month when those dates come, if you're having that watery discharge again, then you know that yes, this definitely could be ovulation. Another thing that you could do is buy some ovulation strips or an ovulation home kit, and you can pee on it and it will tell you if you're ovulating or not. So when you see this watery discharge, you can pee on it, look at it, and it will tell you, are you ovulating or are you not ovulating? Because a lot of times the discharge for ovulation really should be more of a mucousy, stretchy type of thing, but every woman is different, and it might not be that. It might be watery. Okay, so get your strips, pee on them, and see what they say. What's your opinion on IUI? Okay, so I have many clients that either did IUI before they came to me, or they're planning to do IUI and they don't want to do a lot of rounds of IUI, and so, which is for fertility, and so they want to get their bodies healthy and in the best shape before they go through the IUI procedure. I have no opinion on it in terms of, is it good, is it not good, should you do it, should you not do it? I don't have an opinion about that. If you're trying to get pregnant and it's not happening and you financially can afford to do IUI or even IVF, then by all means do that, okay? So I have no negative things about that. What I would say is prepare your body, and then of course prepare yourself to for like the symptoms and the aftermath of the IUI or IVF, because it's a little rough on the body, it's a little stressful, and so we want to make sure that the body is healthy and can stand up and can deal with that extra stress from those procedures. I'm ovulating. I see the signs on my panties. I have regular periods, but I also have blocked tubes. I'm on treatment. I just need to be consistent, hoping and praying for my little miracle baby. Yes, consistency is key, goddess. Okay, please, consistency is key. So, I would say do your stuff, stay on your products, okay? And of course, do your strip just to make sure that it is ovulation that's happening, okay? And then if your significant other's sperm is up and good and running and everything is good with that, then I would suggest maybe having sex 2 days. Start having sex 2 days before ovulation and then throughout ovulation, and you probably will see a difference as well, because sometimes sperm moves a little bit slower, sometimes it moves fast, and so we want to make sure that we get into that right timing, right? So that's something to think about. Do you think LT reversal is possible? I assume that's tubal ligation. Now, tubal ligation is usually when somebody ties their tubes, okay? That's like the layman terms, right? Now, when you tie your tubes, depending on the doctor, depending on what you have said to them as well, it can be reversed. For some doctors, not only do they tie the tube, but they burn also the ends as well. If the ends are burnt, okay, and the tubes are tied, it's going to be harder to reverse that. Okay, definitely much harder to reverse that. It also depends on how much tube is left so that they can connect it back, because if the tube is too short, then they can't connect it back to the ovary. Okay, and then it won't, the tubal ligation will not be successful. Going to order primrose oil and womb tea. Great, Nicole, fabulous. That's a good question. What are your thoughts on IUI? Okay, I just answered that. I am on the hormonal tea blend for 2 weeks and still didn't get my period. Should I continue taking them? Yes, I mean, the hormonal tea blend is really not to bring down the period. The hormonal tea blend is helping to balance the hormones. Remember, it's not just about bringing down the period. We want to heal the reason why the period is not happening. That's what we want to do. Okay, so you need to buy the Hello Period, and you need to be steaming, and you need to make sure you're on a plant-based female vitamin. I would definitely suggest that. For starters, what SPU of serapeptase would you take and how often? It depends on the woman. Usually, I will do like 120,000. Which the capsules that Cosmic Woman sells, that would be 1 capsule. Now for some clients, they have to do 2 capsules. So it really just depends on the blockage, the length, and how long you've had the blockage, and where the blockage is. but I would definitely suggest at least one a day of the 20,000 SPUs when it comes to the serapeptase. And of course, the serapeptase is supposed to be done on an empty stomach, okay? Serapeptase can be used for anyone that has had surgery, no matter where the surgery is, okay? It really helps to remove the scar tissue. Is Uni Pearls good to use? Should I answer that, or should I let someone who's been on my live answer that? I personally don't use them. I personally don't sell them. If it is something that you're interested, by all means do that. I don't want to sway you from that. I do not want to box food or money out of anyone's mouth that is, you know, selling Uni Pearls. For me personally, I've tried it before. I don't like how I feel. There is some aftermath of things that then now I have to go and heal it. When it comes from a sanitary situation, I don't like it either. But different strokes for different folks. What plant-based vitamin do you recommend? Okay, so at Cosmic Woman, we have Feminine Divine, which is a great plant-based vitamin. We also have Body Supreme, which is also a really great vitamin as well. So I would recommend either one of them to you. I was still seeing my period when I was pregnant, and the doctor told me the pregnancy was 3 weeks, so it never damaged my right tube, but they have to get rid of the pregnancy, so I just want to try again. Okay, so I suggest you can try again. I don't see why you shouldn't. What I do suggest, though, is that you prepare your body for the pregnancy. I suggest that you detox. I suggest that you make sure your uterus is healthy and make sure that your tubes are clear and good to go, okay, before you even really start trying again, okay, because I would not want that to happen to you again. What's the red maca for? Red maca is great for regulating periods. Red maca is great for fertility as well. That's usually why I would recommend it. My niece started her period. She's 11 years old. She's having a lot of pain and discomfort. Okay. So if she's having a lot of pain and discomfort, there's certain things that we can do. I definitely recommend her going on red raspberry tea. She can drink it cold. She can drink it hot. It can be thrown in her smoothie. I also suggest magnesium, maybe at least 500 milligrams of magnesium. That should really help. I also suggest castor oil treatments and also the hormonal oil blend that she can rub on her stomach like she would the castor oil, and then put a heating pad to help as well. Okay, the uterus could just be weak, and so as it contracts, you feel more pain. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's a condition that she has, but don't ignore the pain. Okay, please tell her mom, tell her dad, don't ignore the pain. The pain is telling us that something is off. I love your hair down. Thank you. Yeah, I don't usually wear it down, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much. What tracker do you suggest? What's up, Rudy? Charger. All right, go get your charger, ma'am. So I actually use Flow, F-L-O. I like that app. I think I've tried many others, but I like it. I think it is very engaging. And so I would suggest that one, and it's free. So Flow. Oh, there you go. Somebody just said Flow. Yeah, I like Flow. Oh, the Hello Period. Okay, well, continue to take the Hello Period, honey. Continue to take it. Do your steams. Okay. If my period is regular but I still can't get pregnant, what's wrong? A few things could be wrong. I have actually literally had clients that they do tests, they go to the doctor, everything, and no one can tell them why they're not getting pregnant because everything looks perfect, right? Uterus is good, tubes are clear, everything is great, but pregnancy is not happening. And they wonder why. Sometimes it's the digestive system. Sometimes it's that they're not going to the bathroom often enough. Something as simple as that, okay? For some, it could be the tubes. For some, it could be the hormonal imbalance. For some, it could be that you're not ovulating, because just because you're having a period every month does not mean that you're ovulating every month. Okay. On top of that, we need to also look at the man. It's not always the woman. Sometimes it's the man. Sometimes it's his sperm. That's the problem. So that's something also to think about. My period regular and it's just not happening. Same thing. Okay. Same thing. It's just not happening. Have you done an HSG test? Do an HSG test. Okay. My digestive issue caused me to have heart palpitations. Digestive issues can have you having all kinds of issues, even freaking schizophrenia, even autism, even whatever. Okay, so that is actually quite real. So getting the digestive system healthy, detoxing it, and then giving it all of these positive things really helps the digestive system to be the best version of itself. I missed my period by 14 days, but having severe cramps and a little spotting one day now. Have you done a pregnancy test? Start there. What are the benefits of the womb tea? Okay, so the womb tea is really great for the uterus, the health of the uterus. Inside the uterus, outside the uterus, the lining of the uterus, great for all of that, right? So every woman really should be on the womb tea unless she's pregnant or she's breastfeeding. Okay, other than that, she should definitely be on the womb tea. It helps to, as I said, strengthen the uterus, and it makes the lining healthy as well. And also, of course, the digestive system, which, as I've said many times, not just tonight, but in general, digestive system is everything. Does steaming clear up tubes? I don't think so. I've heard people say that, but I don't think so. I think that it could help to soften what is in the tube. But in terms of clearing it, I don't think so. What can I do to improve a man's sperm count? Okay, good question. Okay, so in terms of sperm count, we can do black maca. We can do black seed oil. He can go on rhinoceros. He definitely needs to cleanse. He can also go on Body Supreme, which is another tonic that we have. Yeah, I think, and we do at Cosmic Woman have a male tea. And that's great. It has a lot of great things in there to really strengthen the sperm as well. What can the man do to help pregnancy? Okay, I just said that. Black maca, black seed oil. He can do castor oils. He can do detoxing. There are many things that he can do to make sure that the sperm count is up so that he can impregnate his significant other. Can birth control fix PCOS? No. Birth control numbs everything. It stops the body from working the way it really needs to work. I do not think that birth control heals or fixes anything. I think it just stops something for a little bit, or numbs it for a little bit, but it does not get to the root of the problem. And unfortunately, our OBGYNs, that is their first to go. If you suffer from period pains, take some birth control. If you have PCOS, take some birth control. If you have fibroids, take some birth control. If you have endometriosis, take some birth control. If you're not getting a period, take some birth control. If you're trying to get pregnant but not having a period, take birth control. But I'm trying to get pregnant. Why am I on birth control? What's that about? I don't get it. Yeah, I definitely don't get it. I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah. How alarming is a small bleeding cyst? Okay, so cysts in general are not necessarily a good thing, right? That means your ovaries or ovary is stressed out, and we don't want that because, of course, that will then mean that maybe you might not be ovulating as well. What can the man do to help pregnancy? Okay, so cysts in general are not necessarily a good thing, right? That means your ovaries or ovary is stressed out, and we don't want that because, of course, that will then mean that maybe you might not be ovulating as well. Because, of course, that will then mean that maybe you might not be ovulating as well. So may it be a regular cyst, may it be a bleeding cyst, whatever cyst it is, we don't like it, we don't want it. So I would definitely suggest to concentrate on your ovaries and making sure your ovaries are healthy. You can use evening primrose, you can use vitamin C. That would be really great. Using both of them would be fantastic, actually. You have the facial oil blend and the herb one. What are the differences? Okay, so yes, at Cosmic Woman, we have the herb vaginal steam, okay, which is literally the herbs. And then we also have the oil blend, okay. Now, for me personally, when I steam, I use the oil blend. And I prefer the oil blend. I like the oily residue that's left in my vagina after the oil blend. I also like the fact that I can smell all the herbs that are in it, which also helps with aromatherapy, which is also quite important. It's really a great way to heal yourself too. So I prefer that. Now, when it comes to the herbs itself, there are only certain herbs that really will give you that aromatherapy because the herbs are they actually have a scent. So the ginger, the lavender, those are usually things that you can smell more in the vaginal steam herb blend. Whereas the oil blend, the clary sage, the ginger, the peppermint, the this, the that, all of it you can smell, all of it. Now, the herb blend is much cheaper, okay, because all of these oils that I use in the oil blend, you can actually swallow it, okay. It is food grade essential oils that is in it, so it is much more expensive. So if it is from a financial point of view, then I would say, okay, yes, do the herbs, do that, get that done. But if financial is not an issue, or you're open to trying something else, the vaginal steam oil blend is great. If you come to Cosmic Woman in Jamaica to do a steam, we definitely do oil and herbs. So we mix both of them together. So you can get like both benefits. What causes pain in leg outside of period? Okay, so the leg pain can be many things. It can be circulation. It can be that you have adenomyosis. It could be that you have endometriosis. I used to have leg pain during ovulation, and I did not realize that it was because I was suffering from a reproductive condition called adenomyosis. So it really just depends. But yes, you can definitely have leg pain that is connected to your reproductive system. How much for the male tea? In Jamaica, it's $10. I mean, in Jamaica, it's $1,000. In the US, it's $5. Is black cumin seed oil beneficial to women's health? Yes, black seed oil is great for women's health as well. It's good for fertility. It's good for just making sure that the systems in your body are healthy. When I have my clients that suffer from cancer, definitely something that I give them. What do you suggest for healthy man sperm and male cleanse? Okay, so the cleanse that we have is not gender preference, okay? It works with men, it works with women, it works with children, just depending. Of course, the dosage will have to be different. I definitely went into this already, but I'll say it again. Black seed oil is great for healthy sperm. Also black seed oil, the male tea blend, rhinoceros, which is a tonic that we have, body supreme that we also have a tonic, and also our cleanse, our liquid cleanse, that will definitely help as well. What's your view on the IUD copper non-hormonal? I love that one. It's actually one that I've done a few times. There's nothing that's really perfect, right? So I mean, there's no perfect thing, but it has no hormones in it, and so that is why I prefer it. Now, when it comes to an IUD that's in your uterus, a lot of times what happens is women will suffer more from like vaginal smell, okay, because you have this string that's hanging down from in your uterus down past your cervix, and you know, there's like, you're peeing on it, your period comes on it, like, you know, your fluids from ovulation, your fluids from sexual and heighten or excitement. And so it can really get a little smelly sometimes, okay? But apart from that, I think it is the best IUD that you can go on, hands down. Does steaming help you get pregnant? I don't want to say that I personally do not use steaming for pregnancy. I use steaming just to make sure that you're clean and you feel great. I use steaming to help your periods be better and healthier and happier. That's me personally. Thanks for the response regarding the black cumin seed oil. You're welcome. What's the cost for the vitamin C and primrose? Okay, so vitamin C, I believe in Jamaica it's $1,500. In the US, I believe it's $10. Primrose, I'm thinking the US is $25. In Jamaica, it's $4,000. So guys, guess what? It's 10 past. Is it 10 past? It's 13 past 10. So we've definitely gone over the hour. I'm really glad we got into a lot of these topics. We got through some questions. I hope everybody really learned something tonight. If you guys have any other questions about anything when it comes to reproductive or anything in terms of wellness for the body, please send us a DM. Send us a WhatsApp message if you would like to. Let me know what's going on and how we can help. Okay? If you do not follow the Vagina Lady on Instagram, please do so. It's the Vagina Lady. If you are not following us on YouTube, it is Cosmic Woman on YouTube. And of course, if you're here on Cosmic Woman's Live, I'm assuming you're following Cosmic Woman. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. I always feel the love, and I'm always excited and grateful to be able to share any kind of information to allow us to be the best version of ourselves. Remember, this is our one body that we have. Remember, this is the journey. This is our one life that we have to live. We have to be fair to ourselves. We have to show ourselves self-love and self-care and nurturing ourselves. We can't sit there every day trying to nurture and fix and heal and love and do everything for everyone else and then do nothing for ourselves and not like pour from this empty cup. Like, what are you pouring from the cup? Nothing. It's air. It's nothing. We can't do that anymore. I don't even think, like, God doesn't want us to do that anymore. We have to listen to our bodies. We have to give to our bodies. We have to love on ourselves. Because if you don't love on yourself, who the heck is really going to love on you? Like, you expect your significant other to love you and appreciate you and give you all of this and make you feel special and all these great things. But we're not doing that for ourselves. But then are surprised that our men or our women that we're with aren't giving us that. We can't be surprised. All of this starts with self. It has to start with self. Okay? So love on yourself tonight. Hug on yourself tonight. Okay? Do some positive affirmations. Okay? Remind yourself about all the positive, wonderful things about you. You know? It's important. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Love and light to all of you. I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a great night and have a great rest of the week. Bye, guys.